issue of foreign aid is something that has been a conversation for a very long time, and I would say that we can trace it to our debt problem. We actually have a debt problem in Africa, running into trillions, right? Over 1.1 trillion dollars in debt, and so many, almost 40% of African countries spend a lot trying to pay back this debt, trying to service their debt. The budget for debt servicing is bigger than that of education and all the key sectors like education, health, right? So when we're spending all this money trying to service the debt, trying to pay back what we've borrowed, the excessive borrowing that we found ourselves in, where would the rest of the money go? And that's a problem. If our national budget for the year is showing that we have over 45% just to service debts that we've been paid, that we borrowed, how do we focus on key sectors? Which is why we've always needed foreign aid, which is why foreign aid comes in, foreign money comes in. We use foreign money to build roads, we use foreign money to build schools, we use it to build hospitals in Africa, which is very, very, very disappointing, because for Africa, with its resources, with its talent, it has its own self-sufficient tendency. So why do we always have to depend on this? So that's why we've always needed aid, because we've borrowed so much that we don't have money to even focus on what is most important. Long term is the most important, and that's what I'm saying as a wake-up call to Africa. Eventually, we have to start prioritizing our trade. We have to start prioritizing trading among ourselves, developing our industries, local production. So that is what I see. It might be painful now, but it's beneficial for us in the long term. Two words, right? Private sector partnership and domestic investment. In terms of domestic investment, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who is the Director General of the World Trade Organization, at the last AU assembly, she said something. She said that Africa has up to $250 billion in pensions, right? Now, imagine if we channel such money into the critical sectors that need help in Africa, including health, education, infrastructure, technology, all of that. Now, Africa has money. There is money in Africa. So if we can recapitalize our African multilateral banks, to finance key projects, I think we can make progress. The African Finance Corporation, the Afrexim Bank, these are financiers that are important to lend money to where it's most needed, right? So that's in terms of domestic investment, and also in terms of private sector investment. There's so much that we can do as people. We have the talent, we have the resources. We need to prioritize private sector investment. We need to produce locally. We need to involve the private sectors in production, in manufacturing. We need to support them so they don't go outside and supply to somewhere else. We need to improve our own manufacturing so that our imports we have more export than we have import. Dangote refinery is doing something like that. I was at the refinery on Saturday, and then Dangote is supplying fuel. The Zambian minister came around. He's supplying fuel to Zambia, supplying fuel to Cameroon. This is progress, right? And this is something that's emulatable. I know. I understand that in Ethiopia, there's also they have this initiative that ensures that their food is secured. They're protecting their food industry. So these are things that we need to do. We need to prioritize manufacturing, cars, automobiles, Innoson in Nigeria, Nord. This is progress, right? And we need to also make it across board, or should I say across borders. We need to make trade more attractive. We can make intra-African trade more attractive. I think that we can improve that self-dependency that we're looking at. Think of industries. In Nigeria, we have oil. Zambia needs oil. Why does Zambia have to go to the United Arab Emirates when they can come to buy oil from us? When they can come, now we even have our own refined petroleum products. In that sense, we are even creating the supply chain, a regional supply chain, which we desperately need. Rwanda has something. Rwanda has something called the Agasiro Development Fund. This one means private sector players, that's private companies, Rwandan citizens, even Rwandans in the diaspora, can bring their money together in a fund that funds national projects. Now, think about it. If a nation can come together and fund their own project, now they can kick back against foreign aid. We will not have to be begging for money from somebody to fund our own, to educate ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to fund our healthcare research. So this is things that we need to emulate. Finally, in terms of the media, yes, I'm a journalist myself. I understand the role I have in shaping media. The media is incredibly important in shaping and narratives around Africa. We need to move away from the dependency narrative to the self-sufficiency narrative. Enough of making Africa seem like a child that needs help. Africa is a giant, is a sleeping giant that needs to wake up. That is what we are. So if the media can propel these good stories, these success stories that we have in Africa, we can put forth a brand that shows that indeed we need investment, not aid. Independent countries look for trade. Dependent countries seek aid.